तुम यहाँ से म्यूट करो ना मैसेज देने के बदले। साक्षी भाई को वो करना पड़ेगा बाद में अनम्यूट। तो म्यूट कर दिया सबको, पूजा म्यूट कर।
लाइव चालू
नहीं, आवाज नहीं आ रही।
हेलो 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 हेलो
हेलो हेलो
कोरोना जो
हेलो। माँ एक एहसास होती है, एक अटूट विश्वास होती है। माँ और बच्चों का रिश्ता ही कुछ ऐसा कि एक उमंग और उल्लास होती है। कितनी भी परेशानी आ जाए, हमेशा मन में एक आस होती है। प्रत्यक्ष पास हो ना हो, हर एक सांस में होती है। कभी आंखों की नमी तो कभी एक मुस्कान होती है। माँ तो बस माँ होती है। हमारी प्यारी माँ, आप सब जानते हैं, हमारी प्यारी माँ वैकुंठ धाम को 4 अक्टूबर को प्रस्थान कर गई हैं। क्योंकि 12 दिन तक अनुष्ठान चलते हैं और उसके बाद कल उसकी छमाई थी, इसीलिए आज फर्स्ट डे ऑफ ऑफिस है, तो आज हम सब उनके लिए एक प्रेयर मीट कर रहे हैं। As you all know, Ma was, is and always going to be the soul of Ruia group. So, like we had discussed in her Shraddhanjali Sabha also, we want to celebrate Ma's life and not mourn it. So, we will take you through this prayer meet in a celebratory manner. We will start with some glimpses of Ma's life.
परिवार को पालने का अगर किसी ने काम किया तो हमारे माताजी ने किया। ये अगर एक पूरे परिवार में कुछ बोल दें, वो जैसे एक ब्रह्म वाक्य हो गया और वो हर आदमी के लिए वो ऐसा हो गया कि वो उसको करना ही है।
मैं शादी के दूसरे दिन तैयार होकर पूजा घर में आई थी और उन्होंने मुझे सूर्य भगवान का एक मंत्र सिखाया था। आज भी मुझे वो मंत्र याद है और मैं हर रोज सुबह उसे करती हूँ।
माँ टोटल गृहस्थ थी, घर का पूरा काम संभालना सब कुछ था, लेकिन साथ में बाहर भी बहुत एक्टिव थी। तो मुझे जहाँ तक याद है वो महिला मंडल की उन्होंने स्थापना की थी। एवरी वीक उनकी मीटिंग हुआ करती थी। इतने अच्छे गुलाब जामुन आप बनाया करती थी और लोग कितने लोग आते थे आपसे सीखने के लिए ये चीज।
ये रिश्ता जो बहू सास का, with her behavior, with her expression of her face, she is able to control, she is able to, give the direction what is required for her.
परिवार में मेरी माँ परमात्मा देवी रुइया प्रहलाद की तरह है। वो चाहे तो हमें ऋण से मुक्त कर सकती है और उन्होंने ऋण से मुक्त कर दिया। हमें नहीं, हमारी 21 पीढ़ी पीछे और आने वाली 21 पीढ़ी हमारी ऋण से मुक्त हो गई।
तो लागत नहीं थी तो परीक्षा देने के लिए बाहर जाना पड़ता था, बनारस इलाहाबाद हर जगह माँ साथ में गई। जहाँ हमें जरूरत थी माँ के साथ ही उन्होंने साथ दिया, कभी पीछे नहीं हटी।
मेरे ज़माने में अधिक पढ़ाई लड़की लोग की नहीं होती थी, सब सबको अवेयर थे कि क्या नौकरी करनी है जो तो पढ़ा रहे हैं, लेकिन माँ हमेशा वो कि नहीं, जब तक बच्चे लोग चाहते हैं पढ़ेंगे, उनके कारण ही हम इतनी उच्च शिक्षा प्राप्त कर पाए।
एक औरत जो राजस्थान के एक ऐसे परिवार से आई जो शादी के टाइम में अपने पति का चेहरा नहीं देख रही है, उसने इतना फर्म होके दमयंती बाई को वहां से बोला कि नहीं तुम पढ़ने के लिए जाओ यहाँ पे।
नहलाती थी, कपड़ा पहनाती थी, हम सुंदर बोलते तो एक काला टिक्का लगाती कि मेरे चेहरे की नजर नहीं।
मैं माँ का पूरा दाहिना हाथ थी, पूरा माँ को हेल्प करती थी सब चीज़ में। वो हमेशा मेरे को इतना तैयार करती, इतना मजबूत करती उनसे, मुझे अपने ससुराल में किसी चीज़ का भी कोई चीज़ की कठिनाई नहीं हुई।
आपके जन्मदिन पर मैं आपका आशीर्वाद पाना चाहती हूँ। आपने दिखाए मार्ग पर चलकर हमने जीवन पर आगे बढ़ना सीखा।
जब भी मैं माँ को बोलती हूँ ड्राइव पे जा रही हूँ तो सबसे पहले तो बोलेगी टाइम से आ जाना, लेकिन एक बार मैंने बोला चलो आज माँ तुमको भी ले चलते ड्राइव पे, तो मना नहीं किया एक बार भी, फट से आके गाड़ी में फ्रंट सीट पे बैठ गई मेरे साथ।
रोटी अपने हाथ से बना के चक्की हलवा जो खिलाती है उसका वर्ल्ड में कोई मुकाबला नहीं है।
जब भी मैं ऑफिस जाती हूँ माँ मुझे हेड टू देती है और रोज सेम चीज बोलती है, आज बाल नहीं बनाया तो बोलता चोटी बना देंगे तुम्हारी। जब भी बाहर जाओ माँ से पूछो माँ कैसे लग रहे हैं, 2 मिनट तक ऊपर से नीचे देखेगी, ये क्या पहन लिया है, सब तो दिख रहा है, कपड़े पहनने का ढंग नहीं है तुम्हें। हर छुट्टियां वो बहुत इंजॉय करती है। जब हम लोग पेरिस गए थे और आईफिल टावर पे टॉप पे चढ़ पाई थी वो, इस उम्र में भी वो ये सब मैनेज कर पाती है, ये बहुत बड़ी बात है।
मेरे मन में ऐसी मानना है कि अगर आपके साथ में आपकी माँ का आशीर्वाद है, वो आपके लिए आपका प्रभु का आशीर्वाद है।
कौन सेवा करने वाला? सेवा करेगा उसका। हाँ।
नाम रखा था पवन तुमने और पवन सा चलना सिखा दिया, अपनी शक्ति देकर मुझको तूफानों से लड़ना सिखा दिया, उसके बदले क्या दूं तुझको, तेरे चरणों में खुद को बिछा सकता हूँ। हे मेरी माँ, मैं तो बस तेरे चरणों में शीश झुका सकता हूँ। धन्यवाद।
think there are numerous, uncountable facets that we could talk on about and take learnings from her. But the one that I want to talk about today with all of you is her multifaceted nature. What I mean by multifaceted is that she was such a perfect blend of both aspects of life. What I mean is that while being a perfect homemaker, she was properly business minded at the same time. While being totally old school, she was amazingly progressive at the same time. So, how to balance these things in life is what she epitomized, I think. What I mean is that there are a lot of things our parents, our grandparents, they take us through. They tell us to do, not to do in life. There'll be some that come from our scriptures, there'll be some that come from our history, and she would tell us all of those things. But coming to the nutshell, every time she asked us about our work, she would be bothered about profit, not just sale. What I'm trying to say to you all is that she was so perfectly focused on exactly where to see, what to see. And so nicely she would be able to pick out the most important things in any discussion, in any matter, is what I think is one of the things we should take away from her. She always, every time we got a chance, I would take her to either Hakuna Matata or to our office. I was blessed to have been able to take her to my office just 10 days before this day. And she was there in my office for 2 full hours. And so happily in the office, someone at the age of 97, 98, you would not imagine how happy she was sitting in the office. And all her helps, after 1 hour, they were like, should we go back home? And she's like, nahi, mere ko to maza aa raha hai yahan pe. So what I'm trying to say to you all is that, because I think this aspect would touch you all most, is how to be in a situation and take away the most from that situation, how to be focused with whatever we are doing in life, is the one thing that she taught us perfectly. Every time we went to her and we spoke about, we didn't have to speak about business. She would always come to us and she would ask, how's everything going? How's work going? What is the growth you're doing? What is it that you're earning? So I think we should all be very focused on these things, and the little thing that we can take away from her hugely amazing life. Thank you. I think now Sakshi is not present with us here, but from Singapore she'd like to say something on Zoom about Ma.
Hello. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
So, I think a lot has been said about Ma already. I'll take a few moments to just share some of my experiences which I think are relevant here. So, as you all know, Ma has lived an exemplary life for 98 years. She typically hold master classes where she taught us things, but she just lived her life, and that in itself was a training for us, for those lucky us who had the privilege of having the opportunity to observe her on an everyday basis. I've learned almost everything from her, but there are 3 things that I would like to speak about today, which I feel are extremely relevant for not just a personal level, but also on a corporate level, and especially for us in Ruia Group to truly achieve our true and highest potential that we are set out to do. First and foremost, I'd like to talk about culture. You must have heard us say multiple times that Ma is the soul of Ruia family as well as Ruia Group. And that is because she truly, as Pallavi mentioned right now, focused on this and truly strung the whole family together into one rhythm, bound by common values and purpose. The same values have also trickled down to the very foundation of Ruia Group. It is this value that I think binds us together and really helps us set out to one common purpose and objective. And this is something which we definitely share in our family and would urge you all to do even in the group, not just on a larger level, which is already set out for us in terms of our vision and mission statement, but also in your smaller teams. It's extremely important to come together and to really take some time to think on a higher level of what is the purpose of what we are doing, and is that purpose and goal aligned individually as well as collectively to go towards the goal with enormous thrust and enormous force. The second thing which I've learned from Ma is adaptability. I don't know of any other person who has seen the highs of highs and the lows of lows that Ma has seen, and yet she has adapted to the changes that were thrown at her with immense grace and beauty. The change management which we learn in management schools and in team settings is something which she truly lived by in her life. And that's something which I think is extremely important for us as a company to adopt, especially now, given the volatile macro as well as micro conditions that we are looking to face in the near future. With an agile mindset and an open-mindedness, I think there is no challenge which we together as a group cannot achieve, given the values that we have received from Ma. The third thing which I have learned from Ma, and I think has been my guiding light throughout my life, is faith. With faith, there are no questions, and without faith, there are no answers. I'm sure you have all heard of this, but Ma truly embodied this, and it was this faith and devotion to God which I think gave her the strength to really deal with life's situations extremely beautifully and without any resentment or complaint. This faith can be on anything. It can be on yourself, on God, on any higher purpose which you truly believe in. But I think it's extremely important to have this faith on something to truly give you the confidence to achieve the highest potential of for yourself as an individual and collectively as a group. These are some of the things which I feel that Ma has left for us to follow on her guiding steps and to really achieve our true potential. And though she is not there with us in person anymore, it is these teachings which I feel are always going to be eternalized by each one of us in the family and in our extended family, which is the Ruia group, which is always going to guide us towards the highest purpose for ourselves as individuals and as a group. Thank you.
Thank you, Sakshi. So as you can see, what each one of us is trying to do is to just show you different aspects of her life and just how much you can take away from her. Without further ado, we'll move on to Raghav with his turn.
So, as Devi very rightly pointed out, like one of the biggest things that we could have all taken out from her life is what she rightly said is how she was balancing everything. At the same time, you'd heard Bua's talk in the video also, coming from 60, 70 years back, making your daughters want to go and study. But at the same time, as us, when we were grandchildren and raising us, ensuring that we have the exact right values of spirituality, culture, everything imbibed in us thoroughly, and not just that you start only working or you start thinking about the careers and be one track in that. So just the fact that how she could balance all of this very well in us, in not just being very progressive up with the times, but at the same time being stuck to your roots and firm both spiritually and also culturally. Other than that, because she's already spoken so much about this, one of the very astonishing and sometimes that it was, even though I've seen her through so many years doing this, but it would amaze me even till the very end, just a few months back, a very small incident I want to share with you, which will talk about the qualities that a person can have. Is sometimes when we say that people should not be upset or people should not find fault in the other person or should not criticize someone else or not be angry. I realized something in her is that while I would see her, is being angry or criticizing would only come when you feel bad about something. She had reached that stage where she would not even feel bad if anybody or anyone did anything bad to her. She would not even feel bad. Forget about after that feeling upset or angry about it. A very small incident, Sakshi and we were there with her. We saw that she just had a small mark here on her right, like next to her shoulder. So I just asked her, "Ma, kaise laga?" So she like, "Nahi, kuch nahi, kuch nahi." And she was trying to brush aside the story. So I figured that there was something in that. So I said, "नहीं माँ, बोलो यहाँ पे कुछ लगा, भाई कैसे लगा?" नहीं नहीं कुछ नहीं हुआ, कुछ नहीं हुआ. And then Sakshi pointed out that looks like a safety pin mark because when the nurse tried to make her wear a sari, sometimes might be that by mistake it might have just poked there and she might have just got hurt there. So she knew that if she says that this is how I got hurt, then we would probably reprimand the nurses or shout at them. So she's just saying to Bhajan, no, it was nothing at all. Then he said, नहीं safety pin से लगा, नहीं ऐसा हो नहीं सकता, नहीं लगा. Then the sisters also, she said कि नहीं यहाँ गलती से 2 दिन पहले साड़ी बनाने में थोड़ा सा लग गया था. And then not just that she did not get angry with that, she's trying to safeguard them and trying to make us realize that like these things did not even affect her at all. So they're very small things, but just make you realize that you don't find fault in someone else. Don't criticize the other person. Trying to safeguard everyone who's there, trying to help you, and just these qualities are just so amazing that all of us are, and all the lucky people here sitting here who've had the opportunity of like interacting with her, actually hold dear to heart. Like 2 months back, I was in Bombay, meeting one of the renowned people like in the aluminum industry. He was the head of Hindalco, and he and my grandfather worked together at Renukut. The first thing I went and met, and he's like, "I really respect your grandfather, and how's your grandmother doing?" And I've learned so much from her. Every time I went to her house, she was someone who stuck by. Like, I just went to him for the first time I was meeting him. And a person like that who has no relation with us otherwise, speaking so highly of my grandmother means every person who's interacted with her could take up so much from there. So just a few incidents that I thought I should share with you.
So these are a few things that I think personally the biggest tribute we can give to her is if we take away even 1% of what she has shown us through her life. That's it. While saying or not saying things. I'll call on Tauji to share his views now.
I share a very, very, very close relationship with my mother, and what I feel is my life is totally changed now. With full alertness, with strong mindset, I can make this statement. If you are in a very erratic state of mind, if you are in a peak of anxiety, you don't know her, go and sit beside her, you will relax. That was certain. But Aura was like that. I saw her growing in last 10 years. Her face became more innocent and innocent, a saintly face. Every day I used to watch her. Because the innocence, the smile, whoever has seen her, whoever she touched her in recent last 7 to 8 years, these changes were quite visible on her face, on her personality. The 98 years of life is very difficult to summarize in few minutes here. But I'm sure even the God must have sat one day and turned pages back to the year 1925. What was those conditions and how I created this saintly soul, which is above the gods and equals me in terms of all the qualities which has been narrated and described. In all the dharmas, Upanishads, Vedas, whatever, volumes and volumes, she surpassed that. Again, with full alertness and consciousness, I will say, in this entire world, I have heard about only one person who spoke only one lie in the entire lifetime was Yudhishthira. And my mother has never said any lie on his lifetime. The one common denominator was a truthfulness. I have said her 2-3 times, for my sake, please say lie here. But she will never argue, and she just walked out of the room or the place. To be true the entire life of 98 years, you don't have to do anything else. You become a saint. You become a god. Born in 1925 in a family, super rich family. I mean, in those years, the family, in today's, if I say, the wealth could be about 400, 500 CR. And getting married to a family which is equally more stronger in riches and wealth. And my father was born, he was like a prince. And what the destiny was written in her life, after a few years, or 10 to 15 years, 15th year, things started turning upside down. And how she managed that Pallavi and Sakshi said crisis management. She knew what is crisis management, and you have seen a video. Any woman takes care of the husband, takes care of the children. But have you ever heard of a lady who took care of the husband brothers as care as she's taking care of the husband? My uncle came to house, he was crying. He told, किसी की सगी माँ भी इतना केयर नहीं कर सकती है जितना भाभी ने मेरा केयर किया. After that, my family was a very religious family. My grandfather used to get up at 2:30 in the morning, and from 3 o'clock, he had a east of Devi, goddess Durga. And he used to worship from 3 in the morning to 7, 8 in the morning. And that got injected in the father. And some miracle happened there. Miracle means miracle, which is rare, I don't want to speak here. And they moved out of Rajasthan, and the journey of corporate life started with my father, real corporate life. He worked so hard. That is why the Ruia family named him the Karma Yogi, because for him the karma was the main thing. And my mother, step by step, was with her ideology. There were ups and downs again, but the common denominator of fitness, endurance was like this. Even in the dictionary, if somebody wants me to write the meaning of endurance, I will say it is Parmatma Devi Ruia. Forgiveness, sacrifice, unconditional love for the people. All those qualities were, unless again the fortune turned when they shifted from Delhi to Kolkata, and my brother Pawan was blessed, and he was the instrumental in changing the fortunes of the family. So if you want to born in this family, you want to have this mother, parents and siblings, you must have done, I must have done some really punya karma, not in one previous but many births, so that I arrived to have these fathers and siblings of mine, my brother, sister, everybody is sitting here. And to get the second generation children like Raghav, Pallavi, Sakshi, Radhika, and Prabhas, Basu, Satwik, all this, the wonderful family. As a lot of has been said, talking about like my meeting used to happen with her in the midnight when the nurse used to call me
माँ जी आपसे मिलना चाहता है. And I was waiting for the call because I never wanted to get inside the room. And then she used to just sit calmly, hold my hand, and ask specific questions. In Marwari, अभी ऑफिस में कितने लोग काम कर रहे हैं? X. पहले तो तुम एक महीना बोले थे Y. It may be plus, it may be minus. If it is plus, क्या काम बढ़ गया है? If it is minus, कुछ प्रॉब्लम है? 3 financial statements are the end result on 31st March of every company, and she was not interested in either except a balance sheet, and part of the balance sheet she was only interested in cash flow from the operation, nothing else. That's how she रुपया कितना आया घर में ये बता दो. That was only her question, which Pallavi has also done. It was very specific. Now I'm standing here in the corporate office. Lot of corporates. Now I have personally seen the code of conduct of Apple computers. I was fortunate enough. I have seen the code of conduct of LinkedIn also. They talk about honesty, integrity, confidentiality, how to, the vendors code of conduct, customer code of conduct, employees code of conduct. I think you combine them, make a juice. She had everything. She had all those qualities, and she created her own conduct of life, moral conduct, cultural conduct. What my personality of discipline, like if somebody tells me who's Deepak Ruia, who has touched me, will say this man is a highly disciplined man. So the discipline came from him, from my father. The spirituality. In our family, everybody gets at 4 o'clock in the morning, and your chairman, I'm surprised, sometimes he's ready at 3:30 in the morning in the puja room. So we all, this is the culture she injected. She injected us in the culture of non-violence, telling truth, and truth with politeness. I can say truth with arrogance, but how to speak truth with politeness, that was her quality. And endurance was the biggest quality. Her entire life, 4 to 5 hours she gave for a puja part. So one day she asked me why you stopped all this puja and all. You used to sit for 1 hour every morning. कुछ हुआ कोई फायदा नहीं हुआ तो मैंने बंद कर दिया. This was my reply. Then she says, this is your problem. I have never worshipped for my any benefit. So puja निष्काम भक्ति जिसको बोलते हैं. वो निष्काम भक्ति के कारण हम लोगों ने decide किया, the family, to give her an adjective Bhakti Vibhushita, which you must have seen that. Then she told me, it's not that you want X or Y or Z material requirements. It will give you a lot of strength. It will build your personality. So all these qualities, now I miss, hallucinations I get, like somebody is calling me in the midnight, nurses are calling me. So there is nobody to call me saying Deepak Vikhadao. She will come out of the room, stuff the wheelchair. Even I'm not here at the house, she will ask where I am. Progressiveness. I was in Singapore in 2010 and somehow I arrived at the National University of Singapore for some reason where they gave me without application admission in MBA, which I didn't do. And I have love of reading a lot. Then she started scolding me. Why you are collecting so book if they are of no use? And she used to tell Raghav, tell him to do something, why he is collecting so many books. And the lockdown started, and it was she who gave me a medal. I was awarded with great honor, the international honor, which I can never forget in my life. And whose credit goes back to my mother, my brother, and of course Raghav. With the back door of Prabhas, he was also partly involved in this, to acknowledge this, So, a lot of things to learn from here. A lady who would perform her duties for the husband family, for the children, for the grandchildren, everyone, and she has a corporate mindset also, as I told you. She wrote her own code of conduct. She wrote her own moral conduct, and she ensured that the children and grandchildren में इसको कहते हैं संस्कार अच्छी तरह से दें. So what are the takeaways? Takeaways is certainly stick to the truth. I will say this is a big thing. It will make your personality, आपका aura change हो जाएगा, चेहरे का color change हो जाएगा, चेहरे पे रौनक आ जाएगी. With any situation you are in, one quality of my mother, if you leaving this room, you leave this room with the stick to the truth. And I am repeating again, I have nobody in this world I have seen who has never said lie in his entire lifetime, even he insisted towards a lie once in his lifetime. Thank you so much for listening.
I think what Tauji has not spoken about. So Ma has had her highs and lows with her health. You can imagine that being 98 years of life. Tauji was Ma's health encyclopedia. Even all the doctors, whether it was homeopathic, Ayurvedic, allopathic, or anything else, would consult Tauji before writing a prescription for Ma. So Sakshi spoke about faith, and that is the kind of faith that Ma had on Tauji regarding anything to do with health. Tauji would give her any medicine, she would blindly take it without any questions whatsoever. So this is the kind of faith that we talk about. Coming to Papa, similar nature of faith for a different reason. Papa is one person who has never ever lied to Ma about anything. So all of you have experienced discussions with your parents. If you have ailing parents at home, you may not exactly lie, but you may misconstrue the truth many times for their sake, because you care for them and you think that the truth may hurt them. But Papa has been bold enough to go and tell her upright any news whatsoever, however disturbing. That is a different kind of faith that she had. So, like Tauji mentioned, Yudhishthir, like the entire Mahabharat, every character of Mahabharat would believe anything Yudhishthir would say, like that it was with Papa and Ma. Why I am highlighting this over here? This is not just to show you the relation between a son and a mother. All of you sitting here know how much stress your chairman puts on being truthful. All of you know that whether a work done or not, but truth above all else. So I'm trying to show you how he imbibed this in his own life and how the result was positive and not negative. This truth that he had always spoken to his mother gave life to his mother because it gave her strength. So truth can never be wrong. So that is the point I'm trying to make. I'll now pass on the mic to Papa.
So a lot has been spoken.
Looks like a lot has been spoken. But as Bhaiya very clearly said, a journey of 98 years of a person who had been active till the last moment. When I say last moment, means till 1 hour before that took away. 1 hour before. A person at that age of 98 years, if she is active even 1 hour before her death, how much you speak about her is less. And it's not one person. Maybe I'm her son. I may be biased about her. My brother may be biased. My daughter may be biased. But you will not believe the amount of messages which I have received from world over. Because a lot of people who are connected to her have spread word to the entire world. And what they normally, when a person dies, nobody speaks bad about the person. However bad he may be, however crooked he may be, people try to highlight all the good things. But when they highlight about the good things, there are fixed phrases which they mention about a person. You can very well judge whether it's a fixed phrase being spoken or something really from the heart is spoken about that particular person. And you will see, I mean, you have not seen, but what we have seen from the messages which has come all over, that what life she has lived. On the 4th of October, I personally felt that the longest associate of mine from the date of my birth has lost them. Nobody can be more, longer duration a person can have than a mother, because she is right from the day when you have taken birth until she has died. I mean, that is the longest journey, the longest duration you have lived. Sakshi has spoken about faith, Bhai has spoken about truth. The qualities which Ma had takes her above the level of a human person. What is God? When you find something in someone which is not normally found in a person, you will regard him as a God. We have not seen God. So we believed as an entire family, as an entire person who were in association with her sometime or the other, that her so many qualities were there which is not there in a normal person, normal human being. And that is why I always said she is a human God living with us. And that is why everybody gave her that respect what you normally give to your God. I mean, I always say, when Ram took birth, a lot of people did not realize he is God. What people, you all know the story, even Parvati Devi did not realize that this Ram is a really incarnation of Vishnu. Forget about the human being. When Krishna took birth, excepting few people, and when he really took his mega, when he showed his mega personality, people don't realize he's God. Powerful person like Jadrat will not realize he's God. It takes time for the people, like Sai Baba, which is there in Sirdi, a lot of people go and worship there. When he was living, nobody realized he's God. Today people say he's God, not God. But for someone, he was God. And that is why I said we don't know the definition who is God. There are atheists who don't believe what the God is. But when you find some qualities in a man or a person, a woman, which is beyond the quality which a normal man has, then you consider him to be a God.
You may have a different God in your mind. You may have a different God in your mind. I mean, every person can find. We as a family, be the very core family or the extended family, believed her to be a god. And that is why whatever function used to happen, everybody used to go and do arti of her. A lot of people told me, how you allow such party to be taken for a living person. I said, yes, we are fortunate enough to have a God with us so that we can worship her, we can do arti of her. And how do we came to this conclusion that she is God? Something must have stuck in us to believe that she is God. As I said, it's a faith, and faith comes in, I mean, when you start believing somebody, a God, it takes time for you to realize that she has some qualities which is beyond the normal person. And what are those qualities? How do you just really say? Everybody want to wish and worship their mother. Everybody is very close at mother. Yes, they are. I have seen so many people. I mean, we felt an era has gone. I mean, she was the one who took birth before independence, survived. And as Bhaiya rightly said, she has seen the various ups and downs in her life. I have never seen one shaken on her head. हमारे को आपको थोड़ी सी तकलीफ होती है और हम लोग का पूरा ऊपर नीचे हो जाता है. I mean, tell me ना, अगर आपको कुछ भी तकलीफ होती है, आपके बेटे की कोई फोन आ जाए कि आपके बेटे की तबीयत खराब है, how you will react? In 2 seconds time, you will think that the world has gone out from your hand. I've seen many people passing those through situations and not able to bear that. I mean, I can't describe the amount of height she came from and the height she was married to my father. At that time, what was the position of my father, and then what they were, and how she managed and lived together. Uneducated, not able to speak English, no computers, nothing, no knowledge. Still, you talk to her on any subject and you will get the answers. You might not believe most of the decision of the family or the business. I don't know if you must have heard my speech when I gave on 9th of October when we were having Shraddhanjali Sabha in my house. And I said that I follow a very democratic way of taking decisions in my family. Every matter goes, every person sits, they discuss, they debate on the entire issue. Everybody has full power to speak anything on that matter. And then we finally take a decision. And in that, my mother has a veto power. I mean, how can she decide whether we should take over a company or not when she doesn't have any knowledge? How can she decides among 5 issues of the family when she is not so involved on day-to-day operation of the family? But we feel, as Pallavi rightly said, that she picks up in the entire discussion the most crux point. आज अगर आप डिस्कशंस में बैठते हैं 5 आदमी और 4 आदमी अगर फालतू बात करते हैं तो आप उनको कभी भी तवज्जो नहीं देंगे आप. लेकिन एक आदमी ने एक बात ऐसी बोल दी जो कि मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट है, then you start listening to that person and then you start saying, oh, I mean, she has reached to that place and asked that question, or he or whatever may be the person in that meeting, and then you start realizing, no, this guy has some point, and then you start giving importance to him for his or her discussion, things like that. And gradually, by the course of time, we started realizing that whatever she speaks, 1 line, 1 word, 2 line, 3 line, is the sar, is the core of the entire thing. I have never ever seen the biggest quality in her which I could not inculcate in myself. I have never seen her being angry on anybody in any situation, any circumstances. You may believe it, you may not believe it. In my 62 years of experience with her, I have never ever seen her speaking or raising her voice or being angry on anybody. I could not inculcate this. People will praise her, people will criticize her. She is indifferent. I mean, why I am discussing this issue, my purpose is not to give you a history of the qualities of my mother. I am trying to pick up only those points which ultimately I will request you to ponder upon it, because ultimately you learn from where? Either from the textbooks or from the life journey of other people. You try to pick up the good points from other people and try to remove the bad points so that you also become good. Every person does not have all the good points. There are plus and minus points in everybody. Even people say when God has plus and minus points. Ramchandra ji took avatar with 14 colors, and Krishna ji was in a Purnang manner of a Vishnu avatar in 16 colors. Which is 16 is all the qualities of a man. Even Ramchandra ji had two things not there. So every man, every woman, every person, when they take birth, they have plus points and they have minus points. People try themselves to adopt the plus point when they feel from the other person and try to remove the negative point. Why I am trying to narrate this good point is ultimately for you people to realize that it is also possibility. I have seen many saints giving speeches in the public. क्रोध मत करो, क्रोध से हानि होती है, क्रोध से शरीर नाश होता है, ये होता है, वो होता है, and when they go inside, they will grow themselves to a great extent. Not one. I have experience of many such saints. When you see what they are talking about in public, and we go the biggest hypocrites. Then they say, "Parupdesh kushal bolte rahe." They are good for other person, not for me. But I have seen her. People have seen her. Whatever you go, people, the friends or the enemies, she has a similar feeling, which is the biggest situation. Even Krishna Bhagwan had growth when you all know in Mahabharata when he took the Rath, Kapaya, and started killing this guy. No, Karn, you're right, Karn. So, I mean, growth is something which is very common now, you can't control. Highest order. Then the patience. How many of you can say you have got enough patience with you? You have today some issues, you start thinking next, third, fourth, fifth. Tell me, you think yourself and tell me how many people, or if you say, yes, I have too much of patience in my life. Patience doesn't mean that you stop thinking growth. Patience doesn't mean that you are happy with what you have. Patience means that you are indifferent in different situations. So a person who has some such qualities, I don't enumerate too many things that I said other day also. I can, if you ask me to speak, I can speak because I have enough experiences which has gone inside, imbibed in me, and many times I feel guilty myself that I'm not able to follow completely what she was when we feel, I mean, we could have done that, but still we try to do that. She lived her life. I feel blessed that maybe I must have done some good work in my past Janma, if you believe in that, to have such a lady as my mother.
one wish is there, that this particular person should always be with me. Because everybody wants to see options. Why should I say this is the best? But I know, I will never get anybody. She is like a Purnank. There's nothing beyond that. I don't want that. The vacuum she has created, I know it's not easy for us to get over it so soon. But as what Pallavi said, that it is not proper to lament on her death. It is not proper to cry on her death. A person who has lived. And if you otherwise see also, if the Atma is going to meet Parmatma, let her journey be good. Let her leave all this thing and go and merge with the Almighty. So that is why we said although it's a vacuum created, but we have in a family decided we will act and work like we are celebrating her death. I think two resolutions which we took. Number one, we celebrate her death. And number two, we try to follow what we feel has made from a woman to a god. What are those qualities which made us to think that she is not the normal lady? She whatever maybe the quality she had, we analyzed very deeply, and I think that can be a biggest tribute which we can give it to her to follow those. And in some of those qualities, which maybe 1, 2, or 3, Sakshi has mentioned one, Ruia has mentioned one, and I would say that being from a very small village, her vision was very different. If that particular person who is uneducated, no source of your TV, your any communication where you know what is happening in the world, but somewhere she has got some ideas and she is thinking progressively. We at our time, and we have availability of so many resources with us, we should always see the foresightedness, where we have to go, what we have to do, what are the advantages there, and which line we should follow, which path we should follow. So one of these qualities, which I think many people say right now also, we should adopt with us. We should not fix ourselves into same rut of doing things. If there are changes, if we can foresee how you can do things better, or which can be good for us, we should adopt that, and we should try and see that that becomes our habit. Number one. Number 2 point, her absolute faith in God. God is there, not there is a debatable point. Maybe in India, a lot of people believe He is there. Maybe in so many places they believe it's not there. I don't want to go into that debate. I would say, ultimately, you require one person whom you can fall back. No human being can do that job for you. Because there is always a selfishness in each and every individual. You create an idol, you want somebody to give you fail in certain things.
if you think you have failed yourself, then what happens? You become depressed, you become nervous. And we don't know, ये तो हमारे तकदीर में ऐसा था, कि भगवान ऐसा लिख दिया था. Immediately you have passed over that point to a particular ideal, and then you become normal at that particular time to fight again. मेरे तकदीर में था, भी टाइम खराब था, टाइम अच्छा आएगा, हम आगे अच्छा करेंगे. Immediately, so you require some particular person to fall back on, and the hope that this person will take care about you. I don't know whether I was reading somewhere yesterday, some saint came to my house and he was telling, I don't know, I don't remember. So he was telling a boy, used to go with his mother and father to the grandchildren once in a year on the holidays. And he slightly grew up. He told his father and mother, I want to go alone. And with great difficulty, her father said, okay, I'll send you alone. So he went and sent that boy to the train, and he said, Beta, I'm giving you this letter. Keep this letter with you. When you get frightened, then only open this letter, not before that. He said, okay. So as the train was passing, people were coming, moving, going. And then he found 2-3 people coming in who were not normal people, and the guy got scared. He said, my God, these people will kill me, or they will take me, what will I do? And he remembered, oh, my father has given me one letter, let me read that letter. So he took out that letter, and father said, please don't be frightened, I am sitting in the next bogie. I'm with you, I'm sitting in the next bogie, don't get frightened. And the boy had a lot of courage and said, oh, no problem, my father is sitting in my next bogie, nothing will happen to me. Whether father is there or not there, that's not the question. That belief that somebody is there helping you itself make you more comfortable, more strengthy. That is why you require somebody. You worship Ram, Rahim, Christ. You worship Hanuman, you worship Shankar, Brahma, Vishnu, different names, different Devis, different Devs. Fine. Somebody. That belief has to be genuine. That confidence has to, that your acceptance has to be genuine. You have to fully trust yourself in that this particular God will take care about you. And we say that हम लोगों का विश्वास पत्थर को भगवान बना देता है और अविश्वास भगवान को पत्थर बना देता है. The second takeaway I would say is that belief in that God, whoever he may be, and genuine belief. And trust me, you will never ever be let down by that trust. So progressive nature, faith in God. And third important factor that I mentioned is that patience. In my life, I have seen many ups and downs. Many ups and downs. I have seen heights, I have seen lows. A lot of people who are sitting here knows that very well. Some people may have read and know, some people have experienced the journey of ups and downs. But I don't think so. Anybody must have seen me any point of time, any bad shape. I was happy then, I'm happy right now. A lot of people ask me this question also. How do you cope with such changes in your life? And it's not happened once. I've seen the graph going here, coming down. Second graph goes and goes much higher. Comes down, again goes much higher. I knew, I had no answer, but now I'm realizing maybe on the back of it was my mother. Some person is sitting next to you, you keep on talking to him, you keep on discussing with him. You don't realize what effect that person is doing on you. You don't realize that. तो बोलना संगत अच्छी रखिए, क्यों बोलते हैं? आपके साथ में जो आपके बंधु हैं उसका आपके ऊपर में क्या इफेक्ट है ये आपको मालूम नहीं पड़ता. So maybe my mother must have been giving me such type of thoughts, discussions, working in such a long year, which has made me in a position where it hardly matters to me. I mean, I have huge patience. And fourth point, this is most difficult point, is to look everybody with the same eyes, be it your friend or your. Don't try to have a feeling of revenge. I mean, these 4-5 things which I have mentioned to you, a lot of management gurus will be, or so many so-called the preachers or so-called motivators or so-called so many names are roaming around here, घुमा फिरा कर यही बात बोलेंगे. आप अगर उनकी स्पीचेस सुनिए, घुमा फिरा कर यही बात बोलेंगे वो. I would say these points which I learned from her, which I feel are not easy things in person, I have narrated, and I would like you people to adopt these things in your life, and you will see how nice, how happy your life will be. It is not important whether you have 5 rupees or 500 rupees or 5,000 rupees or 5 crore rupees. I am telling you, the most unhappy peoples or the most worried people are the most wealthiest people. We feel कि उनके पास ज्यादा पैसा है, वो यहाँ रह रहे हैं, वहाँ रह रहे हैं, वो सुख में हैं. आप उनकी पर्सनल लाइफ में जाइएगा तो आपको मालूम पड़ेगा कि आप उनसे ज्यादा अच्छी तरीके से रह रहे हैं. Not one case, I can give you 1,000 such cases. Money has no matter of your style of living, your happiness, and your peace of mind. It has to do with your individuality. I would say, please take away this. I must thank every person through this today. I think maybe this is one of the last sabha where, as Pallavi said yesterday, we have finished all the rituals with whatever was suggested to us by our Panditji, the knowledgeable people, the friends, the relatives. You should do this, you should do this. We have no one shastra where it is written that these are the rules which one has to follow. So there are 1,000 advisors at this particular time comes to you, and they make your life more hell. And if you do 2 things, they will say 5 things you have not done. And if you don't do 5 things, they will say 2 things you should have done wrong. But I would say that God has given us strength. We followed, and everything was done very nicely. I am saying purposely this because you people have experience or will experience this. We have mentioned somewhere, I was trying 4-5 years back, at least we have some one granth, where we can describe something which becomes the finality, that if you do that, that's end of the story, nobody can challenge. हम लोग क्या जितने पंथ हैं उतने पथ हैं. आप किस पथ को फॉलो करेंगे, किस पथ पर जाएंगे, किसी को नहीं मालूम. And one will says other. So whatever was best given to us, whether we believed in those kriyas or not, we have done it. Because we felt that not doing may harm, doing may will not harm. And we followed that. So it has been done yesterday. Today is the last forum. We thought that we should share our feelings. We should give her tribute because she had come to this office several times. She was the one who literally inaugurated this office. My every organization, my every association, my every factories, whoever may have inaugurated
a day before, my mother has gone there and she has done inauguration for me, and then it was done publicly by those so-called peoples. Whether it was my house, whether it was this place, whether it was anything in my life, she was the first person to put her step there. And I said, I believed that whom you would want your first step to be put, whom you feel your God. So she had the association, she started this entire thing. So we thought one prayer meet here is must, where you people can participate with you in this. And since this is the last opportunity, I must thank every person. It's in Hindu, I mean, it's a very big occasion, very big. I mean, people say it's more than a marriage, where so many rituals have to be performed and so many things have to be done. And believe me, I feel she had decided her departure date in advance. And she was working on that. I'll give you in a very brief glimpse. Normally she would say, no, I'll not go to Rajasthan, it's too hot, too cold. This time, we went for a Raga's marriage party time. We said, "Haan, chaliye, party we did kar liye, then we go to have a darshan every day. Aapka bahut miss hai, yahan chalenge." Immediately she yes chalenge. This was maybe in March or April. And we went with her to all the important places in Rajasthan for darshan. Then we never have a family get together in October. Never. It is in December, last week fixed, where we all family people meet. We take a lot of important decisions in that meeting. First half we have very deep, intense discussions, and second half we roam around that place. This time, last year we couldn't go. Sakshi said, no, we will go this time, and we were not finding time. And October, November, December was very busy in various marriages. So she fixed 29th of September as a date to all of us to go together, and she made all the arrangement. This time it was like a big place where we all were together, it's not like a hotel rooms. And she agreed to go with us. 29th of September, she was with us, with all the children, their husbands, their wife, all together for 3 days. And she enjoyed there. Just see, I mean, how she's planning, and we were not going. We came here on 2nd. 3rd morning was Ashtami. We planned for a Havan. She sat and did 3 hours from 4:30 to 7:30. एक हवन उन्होंने अपने हाथ से दिया है अष्टमी का. Then 4th of October. 4th of October, I was in the office. I was planning to go to Delhi in the evening because 5th I had some meeting fixed up in Delhi. And as the God or she would have wanted it, that meeting got cancelled. I came from the house thinking I'll go from here to the airport. And then meeting got cancelled. Bhaiya gave me a call कि आज दशमी है, 4 बजे के बाद में दशमी आ जाएगी, अष्टमी के बाद में नवमी, एंड 4 बजे से दशमी आ जाएगी. तो बोले हम लोगों ने सुंदरकांड का पाठ नहीं किया है इस शनिवार को, अभी कर लेते हैं. हमने नहीं, आप लोग कर लीजिए, थोड़ा ऑफिस में बहुत काम, हम खत्म करते हैं, बिकॉज आई वाज ट्रैवलिंग क्वाइट लॉट. फिर पता नहीं हमारे मन में क्या आया, यू नो, जस्ट थॉट केम टू माय माइंड, नहीं चलना है. हम लोग को फोन करने में आ रहा हूँ. Raghu had to go to his friend's place. Raghu also cancelled that. We all went to the home. And we all said, मैं ऐसी कि पंडित जी को पूछिए कोई available है क्या? Because it was Dashera, Navami, कौन पंडित मिलता है? But fortunately, 2-3 people came also in 15-20 minutes of time. And we all sat from 4:30 to 6:30. We had Sundarkand part mark going line by line on that. Before that, she went to Pallavi's office, spent 2 hours there. Before that, my sister came and met Ma. Both the sisters who are here in Calcutta, they came and met Ma. She spoke to my third sister in Delhi. I mean, she completely planned her departure. We couldn't even get the idea that what she's planning, what she's doing. I mean, what a great planning she did. 6:30 we got up from the 6:30, quarter to 7 we got up from the Sundarkan. I went to meet somebody whose father had expired. I could not go, so I thought, let me go and I'll come in half an hour, 45 minutes of time. I reached to his house and Bhaiya gave me a call. Ma is not feeling well. I told Bhaiya, aap zyada sochte hain, kuch nahi hua. But then we rushed back and she was unconscious. We called the doctor and the doctor said she is not well. So just see how she has planned each and every, her departure with Sundarkand part, with Ashtami ka Havan, dying on the 9th and 10th when पूरी देवियों का विदाई हो रही थी. We were on 10th, on the 10th, 5th of October, which was perhaps a Dashera day. So the great men, I think they control their death also. They know what is to be done. They plan themselves, and we don't know about it. So I must thank a lot of people for their support at this particular moment. Morally, virtually, physically, all were there. On 5th of October, we fixed up that what time we'll do Snan and take her to the burning heart. It started pouring in the morning at 7:30, 8 o'clock when we gave her the bath. 7:30, 8 o'clock, it was pouring and we brought her inside. After that, not one drop of rain. 9th February, when we fixed up the program for Shraddhanjali Sabha in the house, the forecast was that there will be 80% chances of rain and thunderstorm. We thought we'll change the program. I said, no, we'll do it. It will not happen. We took precaution, we made the pandal, we made it waterproof. Not one single drop of water. So many things when you start thinking, in the past, what she did, how she did, what she reacted, you know that she has completely planned everything. She did not give anybody any trouble during her lifetime. And after death also, both the function 19th and 16th happened on Sundays. And it was Sharad Purnima. So, why do you feel that she was a divine thing? Whatever function we did, we would not been able to do that function like that. The people, some of the people were there at that time, and the entire area was like a divine area at that time. It's not on us. On 16th, we organized the Brahman Bhoj. So almost 150, 125 people came in there. You can see in the YouTube, they are all there. On the first Pangat, there were 100 people who could sit. Only 98 sat, for God knows reason why. Which was her birth, the year 98. We didn't thought this, but when we started giving the dakshina to them, and then we realized 98. I said, what happened to other two? No, one was a lady who was invited for Brahmani Sabha, which is 12, and she could not come at that time. And somebody, just see, there were 12 people, has to take food. 11 came in, 1 did not come in. I said, no, I will not wait for time. I will on a dot time. And we're thinking, what is to be done, what is to be done? In the meantime, a lady walks in there and says, I was called tomorrow because of the Chamai and I have come today. Do डोंट यू थिंक इट्स अ सरप्राइज? जिसको आपने कल इनवाइट किया वो आज पहुंचे और उसी टाइम पहुंचते इस टाइम हम लोग ढूंढ रहे एक आदमी हाथ लेकर आए लोग, एंड शी केम इनसाइड। उसके 1 घंटे के बाद में द अदर वुमन केम इन हु वाज इनवाइटेड फॉर दिस टाइम, एंड देन वी मेड हर सिट टू, बिकॉज़ शी हैज कम, वी मेड हर टू सिट टू ईट द फूड, and one person just sat with somebody else. So exactly 98 people on the first row, all sitting together. So not one, there were several things which we find were astonishing, surprising, divine, which we felt. Everything happened like, with no effort to anybody. So this is the occasion I must thank everybody, the one who made the entire place so good, the one who did arrangements for her at various cards. Lot of people came in and sent me the letters for the card, for here, for there. I don't know. I mean, these days which have passed from 4th to 16th or 17th of October, I think this is the experience which is completely different than whatever experience I have had till in my life, having visited almost many countries, having seen many situations in life, many deaths I have attended, many marriages I have attended, but this 4th to 17, I mean, I think it's maybe the first time I may have thought that now I have grown up. Every time something happens, you feel there is somebody you can bounce back to. She will take care. And then you're like, no. I mean, you've become big now. You have grown. At the age of 62, 63 years, you are realizing you have grown. So, I will not go beyond because, as I said, that it's a very emotional and a touchy subject for me, and I can speak hours and days and months on this matter if I keep on narrating how and what my experiences are with her. I would request all of you to just stand for 1 minute, 2 minutes to be just 1 minute to pay tribute to the great soul, the soul who has made what it is right now, the soul who has been the foundation of the Ruia group, the soul who has absolutely, clearly, with no doubt, put us where we are. Please. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm sure, as what we believe and we have faith and we realize, she is going to bless everybody here, with no doubt. The Honorable Governor of West Bengal was in my house for one dinner when he was governor. When he came and he met Ma, he took Ma's hand and put in his head and kept it there for almost maybe 40 seconds, 30 seconds, 50 seconds. And then he touched his feet, and then Mr. Dhankar touched his feet. And now they are the Vice President of the country. He gave me a call yesterday, and he said that I am the most fortunate one who has had too much blessings from her. participating here. Thank you. You all can proceed to the home now, because after this, nobody will be in a mind to work.
निकल